Hey guys! Alright, so I'm gonna be honest, I've tried to record this intro like 6 or 7 times, and I feel very awkward about it, but I'm just gonna accept whatever comes out at this point. But today we are recording a reading vlog, and the reading vlog is for the Fourth Wing. I did just do a 24-hour readathon where this was going to be one of the books in the lineup. However, I decided I needed to focus more attention on this book than I could give it in 24 hours. I honestly picked up this book because of how much hype it's been getting on TikTok and how much it's appeared on my For You page over the last couple months. And so I wanted to see what all the hype was about and if it's worth it to me. So you guys are going to come along with me on this journey of reading through this. Okay, real quick update. I'm only on page 55, so I'm not too far into the book, but I felt like I needed to talk. We have met our main character, Violet, who is beginning her journey of going to this college. However, it's not in the way she expected. She had planned her entire life to become a scribe, but thanks to her mother, who is the general, that plan has been uprooted, and she is now attempting to enter the writer's quadrant. Violet is a character who I feel like I can relate to quite a bit because she is fighting a battle with her own body as she is physically weak. One wrong move and it's like her bones are shattering beneath her, or she's popping things out of place. In her case, her body is not agreeing with her, and the writer's quadrant is really not the place she should be going into, because it's basically you fight or die. You live or die. And with your body battling against you, it's really hard to survive. We've gotten to meet Mira's older sister, who tries to argue with their mother to fight for Violet's ability to go into the quadrant she was expecting to no avail. So instead, Mira chooses to give Violet some tools to survive. These include shoes to survive the parapet and dragon-scaled clothing. The parapet is the first challenge you will enter in while trying to become a writer. Either you walk across this and make it to the other side, and then you're becoming a cadet. Violet has made it across the parapet, however, she has not made it unscathed. She has ended up hurting her knee really badly and has already started making enemies. One of these enemies being a kid named Jack, who seems really adamant on killing her. There's also one other character that I'm uncertain about and I'm getting weird vibes off of, and this is the character of Dane. Dane is supposed to be Violet's childhood best friend, but I don't know, he's giving me a strange vibe. He's trying to offer the option of getting her out of here, and sneaking her into the scribe quadrant, which is admirable and sweet, but at the same time, I feel like he should know how Violet's mother is, and that she would be willing to drag her back. So, I'm gonna get back into reading, and I'll update you guys in a little while. Update time. I'm currently on page 129, which isn't too much further than where we were during my last update, but unfortunately I don't get too many options to just sit down and read for hours on end, so we're gonna end up with like smaller increments in between. I'm currently annotating as I go along, not as in depth as I usually would go. However, I am marking any locations where I'd like to be able to reference back to. So some things that have occurred since my last update. Violet did get a note from her older sister, Mira, which contained also a book that her older brother Brennan had wrote containing lessons he learned while attending the college. This is something I found to be very sweet, because not only is her siblings giving her some guidance as she's going through these challenges, but also she is getting a piece of her brother to keep with her. Something she wasn't able to do previously, because once he had passed, all of his stuff got burned, or so she had thought. All of their stuff is supposed to get burned whenever you pass, as a form of tradition and a way of passing him on. But one of the things that she discovers through just the beginning of this book that her brother wrote was that the opponents for the hand-to-hand combat challenges is predetermined a week or so in advance. And with this knowledge, she comes up with an idea. And this idea is that she could potentially poison her opponents to gain the upper hand. So one night, while she's out picking the ingredients for these poisons past curfew, she ends up getting stuck in a tree. And the reason she is stuck in said tree is because Xaden and a handful of the other rebel kids are having a meeting under this tree, which technically is illegal because they're not supposed to meet in groups larger than 3 out of fear of creating another rebellion. However, that's not what this one is. This is literally them discussing tips and tricks for surviving through the college. It is the second and third years giving advice to the first years. Violet sees no harm in this, and so she chooses not to turn them in. Xaden is her wing leader, and after all the other rebel kids go back inside and go to bed, it is discovered that Xaden knows she's there. He has the ability to command the shadows, that is his signet. But V essentially tells him that, hey, I'm not going to turn you in, and pretty much he's like, okay, I'm trusting you here. If that turns out to be true, I owe you. And then he proceeds to tell her, you better get back inside before your wing leader discovers you're out past curfew. And I found this hilarious because it's like, oh, this is actually some bickering and them communicating outside of what is required, and also outside of him threatening her. Amazing. I love a good enemies to lovers. We did discover a little bit about the different types of dragons. One of these types of dragons is a black dragon. Currently there are only 2 black dragons because there hasn't been one born in over a century. One of the black dragons is currently serving and bonded to a human, while another hasn't been seen or bonded in the last 5 years, since his last bonded human died attempting to save Brennan, Mira's brother. Xaden does discover that Violet has been poisoning her hand-to-hand combat opponents. This gets discovered because she accidentally poisoned one of them a little too soon, to which they were unable to fight at all. So Xaden steps up to the mat and goes, I'll fight her. And there's nothing against poisoning your opponents. However, Xaden feels like she is not actually getting the full benefit of this class by just simply poisoning them. And that's kind of the lesson he attempted to teach her. We have also now entered Gauntlet Practice, which is this giant obstacle course that they have to complete presentation day to see who a dragon chooses to bond with. It is part of what a dragon uses to determine which humans they want. So Xaden has gone to calling Violet Violence, a nickname I both find hilarious and fitting. We've reached presentation day, and Dane, who is still annoying me, walks next to Violet, and he's talking to her, still trying to push her out, trying to send her back to the scribe quadrant. And she's like, but I want to be here. And he's like, I can't watch you die. And I found this hilarious because she's like, then close your eyes. Like, I love how much confidence and just snarkiness she is gaining. I love it. We go through the gauntlet, and Violet does something that is definitely against the rules, where she is penalized, which is tying one of the ropes around her waist to assist her. And then the other thing is, as she's running up the ramp, she takes one of her daggers and stabs it a foot from the top, and uses that to hoist herself up, which is uncertain if that is actually against the rules or not. After that, we go and we do a walkthrough of the dragons get to actually see the potential riders. During this, Violet is stopped and sniffed out by the green dragons because they can smell her sister's dragon on her. And basically they're like, "Why do you smell like a bonded dragon?" To which she has to explain, "It's my sister's dragon. I did not go and steal the scales of this dragon. My sister collected them after they were shed." During the thrashing, a group of kids go and try to kill off the feather-tailed dragon, who is an unexpected addition into this. Violet hears of their plan and tries to go and warn the dragon, tries to get her to fly off. But instead, this stubborn thing decides, "No, I'm going to stay." And so Violet fights back. She defends the Feathertail, and because of this, the black dragon that hasn't bonded, that wasn't initially agreeing to bond, chooses her. And not only does he choose her, but so does the Feathertail. So Violet has two dragons, something that's never been done before, and everyone's like, "Is this allowed? She can't do that." To which everyone, including Dane, is like, "They're gonna make you choose." And another reason Dane's pissing me off, he's like, "You need to choose the Feathertail because you're not gonna survive on the black dragon." Just completely undermining any idea that she has learned anything in this time. I really just want to throw Dane off of his dragon at this point. And we're only like halfway through the book. I just want to throw him. Well, come to find out that the humans cannot make her choose. The dragons are like, "We have nothing in our laws against two dragons bonding with one human, so we'll allow it." Which I kind of saw coming, because I was like, the humans can't tell the dragons what to do. You have lost your minds if you honestly think that you are commanding these things. They could eat you, and you wouldn't even be a snack to them, in my head. But after this, Dane's just so happy she's alive, and he kisses her. He kisses Violet, just for her to feel absolutely nothing. This boy that has been her best friend, that she's been crushing on for years, kisses her, and she's like, "I feel nothing. There is nothing here." Well, that's because, he doesn't believe in her at all, so why keep feelings for somebody if they don't believe in you? Just more proof we should just let Dane be eaten by a dragon. But I don't know. So far, I'm really loving this book. Dane and Violet are kind of tied together now because his dragon and the black dragon are mated. So they're kind of just inseparable. If one mate dies, the other one dies. And so they are risking each other's lives. So we're gonna see how that plays out. Because I'm literally not even actually at the halfway point. And I'm like, this, so much has happened. How much more can occur in this? So I have less than 100 pages left of Fourth Wing. And I don't want the story to end. Like, I know that the next book comes out in November, but I don't want to wait that long. Plus, with there being about 100 pages left, my brain's like this. I don't know what to make of it. Like, if every time I come to like the last 100 pages of a fantasy book, I know that it can go either really well or break me. Luckily, I already have like what my next reads are lined up, because we're gonna go jump in. Because we're gonna jump into one of my comfort read series because something new came out for it. But yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I finished the Fourth Wing. I need the next book like now. The last 100 pages of that book had me going through it. And I'm not sure how I am right now. I do have to say this is one of the best reads I've had of this year so far. And I cannot wait for the next one to come out in November. However, I'm not sure what else feedback I could give at this point. So I'm gonna go crawl in a corner with one of my comfort reads, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.